Article 5, Paragraph 2, Clause L of the India-USA Treaty, which deals with what is known as service PE. Now, you may not necessarily find this clause in many of the treaties, right? So therefore, you actually need to watch out for where all this is available. So let's say there's a foreign company and it provides services in India. The case of this foreign company having a PE in India by virtue of providing services is what is covered under this clause. Let's understand this in more detail. The furnishing of services. Now, what this means is that the foreign company should be providing services. So there was a case where a foreign entity had provided certain sponsorship to a sports event in India, right? And the tax office sought to create a service PE by virtue of this. It was held that providing sponsorship does not mean providing services. What is covered here is furnishing of services. If there are no services, then this clause is not applicable. Other than included services as defined in Article 12. So when you categorize service, they can be put into two buckets. One is the included services for the purpose of Article 12. And what are those? They are basically referring to technical and consultancy services which make available technical knowledge, skill, etc., etc., etc. Right? You will learn more about this when you go to Article 12. But if the services fall under this category, they cannot result into the creation of a service PE. But if the services do not fall in this category, those are the services which are to be considered here. So rendering of these kind of services, furnishing of these services within a contracting state. So if you're talking about a foreign company, the services have to be rendered in India. If they are rendered outside India, they are not relevant. They need not be counted for the purpose of calculating the number of days. Within a contracting state, India, by an enterprise, the foreign company, through employees or other personnel. This foreign company may render services either through its own employees or other persons. Other person could be an agent, an affiliate, a person who is dependent on them, right? The services rendered through any of them are covered, but only if. These are covered when there are two conditions which are there, or actually two situations which are there. One is basically when you are rendering services to an AE, associated enterprise, and second is when you are rendering services to a non-associated enterprise. So when you render services to a non-associated enterprise, activities of that nature, the ones which we discussed here, continue within, in India, that state for period or periods aggregating more than 90 days within any 12-month period. So if you are rendering services to a non-associated enterprises, if these services continue for a period of 90 days, right? More than 90 days actually, within 12-month period, then you will be treated as having a PE in India. Or you perform services are performed within that state in India for a related enterprise. So if you have a related enterprise within the meaning of paragraph 1 of Article 9, here it doesn't matter how many number of days you've rendered the services, right? If you see service PE clause in some other treaties, it may give you a time frame of 30 days even for associated enterprise. But in India-US, the moment you render services to your related enterprise in India, then that will result into a PE. So which services are covered? Services other than included services as defined in Article 12. Where should the services be rendered? Within a contracting state. Who renders the services? Employees or other personnel of the foreign company. And like I said, other personnel will cover dependent ones, agent, or maybe the employees of the affiliate. What is the time frame? For unrelated enterprise, more than 90 days. Related, even a day is sufficient.